Hey guys, Luna here, and we're back with Hiveswap Friendsim. Last time we left off, we just finished Volume 7 of Business and Flagrantly Legal. Now we're on to Volume 8 of Stresses, Song, and Otherwise. Got my little notebook to write down their names and their blood color and people they know and whatnot. So, just my little thing. So, just another night, another ramble. A classic song comes back to you as you continue on your way. Some of that good old earth wisdom about a specific kind of footwear being made for walking. You wish you had that kind of footwear right now in this current chapter of your life, or any footwear for that matter. You've definitely learned your lesson about getting overexcited at the prospect of new friends and running out in nothing but a bathrobe. Oh, who are you kidding? Maybe not in that particular bathrobe way, but chances are high that wasn't the last time you'll fly off in the buoyant afterglow of an intense friend kiss. So we have Tyzias, Enrykk, which I think is a teal blood. And we also have the Chixie Roxmo, which is a blonde blood. And today we're going to do the Tyzias Enrykk today because we always start with the left side with the who we do. So let me just write them down. Bronze blood. There you go, wrote them down, and Tyzias Enrykk. New music. That's always exciting. Just up ahead, you see a troll leave her hive, muttering to herself. She's holding an unstable mountain of papers and books with one arm, using her free arm to hold a mug steady. She isn't paying attention to you, which is fine. It's always fine. Don't get it twisted. You'd love to make another friend. You just understand now that it's a weird, flighty thing. Some shows you mesh with, some shows you don't. Which, totally understandable. You smile at her just in case, but when she walks right by you without stopping, you shrug. This planet is chock full of friendable weirdos. They'll live. Well, you only take a few more steps before the sound of her absolutely eating shit on the sidewalk makes you turn. It happens fast enough so you only really see the aftermath of upended books and papers raining down on the impressively wide circle around her. Globes and abstracts. Honestly, are you sure it's a she? She sits up, but that's as far as she bothers to get. After taking a sip from her mug, which somehow must have stayed level with her grip during her fall, she sighs. My brain, and gets to work gathering all back up with her free hands. I think that would happen to me. It's not like I have anything else to be doing. You've seen a teen movie or two in your day. You know this trope. The cool kid helps the unpopular nerd after they fall like a chump and embarrass themselves, and slowly the pair establishes trust. By the time credits roll, they gone and fallen in love. Not that you unnecessarily want to fall in love, or that you're under the delusion that you're in any way cooler than her, but still, it's tried and true. It's also like a pretty standard decent person thing to do. So like a decent person you hope to be, you skedaddle over and you stop short just in front of her wide-flung ring of items. You want to make sure she's not going to yell at you or murder you or anything before you interfere. It's always a good rule. What? Okay, Pastas, I know it's a scene. Well, what are you waiting for? Be good bystander and standing by, and stop standing by. She gestures kind of all around her, and that confirmation is enough. You bend to pick up a heavy-looking book. There it is, and blazoned right on the cover. A gravel Mungo fucker of judgment implement too, with spines all around the handle. Dread creeps up your spine. Sure it would. You slowly slide your gaze from the book's cover to its owner. She doesn't have any obscenely blood-colored themed clothes. Oh wow, she's sporting socks and sandals. Maybe you're cooler than her after all. But the very prominent eye bags are tinged teal. Ah, glows the lawyer. It's not that you don't appreciate one lawyer friend for who he is, it's just you're unsure you have it in you to sneak your way into the heart of another. You kinda got lucky last time, which is very fortunate what happened last time, since that last time was kind of all over the place, if I have to say. So, the scales of your judgment and your heart stand weighing your chances. I think I'm gonna my luck. I'm gonna keep standing there, paralyzed by choice. Can't really get away from that gravel. There are spines. Those spines could really stab a person's skull right open, huh? I suppose that could be the case. Wow, thanks for all standing around and staring, assistants. It's really helping a lot. Definitely can't just do that on my own. You still struck at the image. She stands up, grumbling, and snatches the book out of your grasp. She turns, waving a dismissive hand at you. Mind, now you're just in my way. She doesn't tell you to leave, but she stops acknowledging you, which you figure is pretty much the same thing. You're iffy about this one from the start, but damn, it turns out rejection still stings. Game over. Okay, so that's what it looks like. That's pretty cool. Or papers, because that's the decent thing to do in this situation, because why wouldn't I pick up more papers? You start making a neat pile of all her stuff. After watching you for a second, she's making sure that you're not screwing it up. She dramatically heaves herself to her feet and joins the effort. I don't have time for this. Make sure to keep the B34s together in my red folder. You look down at your current pile. B. That's the one with the little hook at the top, or is that G? So it picks at your temple. You picked up a little bit of a written artery here and there, but you're still not anywhere near competent at all. Shifting through the paper, you search for anything similar. You may get a few words, but there are just a lot of those little guys on these papers. You get performance anxiety. Oh, right. Probably still can't read. You look at her, startled. How can she tell? Well, I mean, you don't much look like a troll. It is exactly a gargantuan meta leap to assume that you're not from around here. But I also heard about you. You straighten up. Any press is good press when it comes to friends discussing you, right? Teal's talk. Oh! Unfortunately. Oh. So she knows the other lawyer. Knows the other Teal. Okay, that's cool. She puts her mug on the ground and picks up a fallen book, talking as she flips it to whatever page she's looking for. That little asshole's gonna have even more unfortunate crap to say to me when he finds out I set us all back by dropping half of our group project in the ditch. She paces in flustered circles until she finds a bookmark amongst the debris. Flicking a wet leaf off of it, she shoves it into the open spine off the book and slams it closed. Whatever, I can't think about that yet. It's not, I don't need to. Gotta get all this back in order first. Yeah, right, yeah, the ordering stuff. You keep at it, doing the best you can to keep similar looking things together. You can feel her eyes on your back and you turn to face her judgment. You basically got it right, actually. You did say you were quick at the draw. Tyzias, by the way. She doesn't so much smile at you as grimace. It looks mostly pleased as exhausted expressions close. That's as good as friendship as it's as good as friendship building material as any other. You've certainly started with worse than being complimented. The breeze plays at the end of her frizzled hair and ruffling a few pages while at it. That's interesting. Now that you aren't frantically trying to prove your helpfulness and have a moment to think, you don't know if the sidewalk is the best place to be starting from scratch from the whole filing system. You open your mouth to tell her as much when a huge pod gust follows in Breeze Jr.'s wake, blowing the neat stack back into chaos. She sinks slowly back down into the snow globe of paper and takes a long sip from her mug sitting next to her, and then tilts her head back and unleashes a deep, bitter gut holler. You scuttle around, hands catching documents out of the air until the gust is gone. Not a good thing to do. It's not that Tyzias doesn't seem capable, it's just that she seems a bit burnt out. You know what it's like to feel like you're not at the end of your rope. So now that you have half a swinging grab at a hand of things here, you feel like it's your turn to do the heavy friendship lifting. I'll suggest that a small breather might help. You know a breaking point when you see one, and you weren't expecting it, but it's so early in the potential friendship encounter, but still, it's clear that this troll might need some time to chill. Because it's always good to relax. This is a mess, after all, yeah? She swings the pendulum of her chin over to glare dead-end eyes at your guts. Okay, yes, it's a mess, but it seems like maybe, just perhaps, it would be best to put a pin in it all, to suck the air in and out of your insufferable sacks or whatever, and just get together for a minute. Now, no group projects were whatever aced when the clear leader was not at her peak of mental performance. June goes up her nose and closes her eyes. You know what? Fine. Not all of it, of course, but this night specifically, and everything and anyone I know or thought extensively about before in my life. So that just leaves you. What do you have in mind, friend? Because I'm all out of ideas. That word still does number on you, no matter how many times you hear it used so flippantly. You have an idea already, so you hurriedly gathered her crap into extremely unorganized piles, which she drops off in her hive to deal with later. Which, good for us. You half expect her to just not come back out, but she does. She only keeps one heavily annotated tome in her mug, which she nods at when she speaks. I know, these are just in case. Anyway, do yours. With a salute and a few gentle tugs at Tyzias' sleeve to keep her moving, you get going. Oh, I love it. So far, I vibe with this girl. She's amazing. You and Alteria pals have taken turns leading each other to some pretty wild places in your time here. The place you take Tyzias to, though, it's somewhere you haven't shared with anyone, which I'm sure is going to be interesting. It's time where you come back on days you can't find a friend or you don't want to impose on any of the ones you made. On the outskirts of town where the buildings are spread thinner until the landscape cuts outward in the jagged cliff face, bolted in the side of the rock tower is... bolted into the side of the rock is a tower, or what's left of one. It's basically a heap of scaffolding and rusted out ladders. Means better than nothing, holding up a half-covered platform, but it's a good place to start bleeding and stargaze. Do I give off an outdoorsy vibe to you? Does my half-untucked, bun-up and pottery muscle mass scream, would love to scurry up a dipilotated relic? You worry about her hating your plan, but you kind of feel like she would complain no matter where you took her. At this point... So at this point, it's the die is cast, so you heave-ho and say it's stronger than it looks, which is definitely good to hear. So you offer to hold her stuff for her during the ascent. She gives you the book, but clutches the mug against her chest. You know a little better to pry, but you're dying a little wonder why she's so weird about it. Unless she's got liquor made from Viscera in there. Or maybe Hiluscus gave her the mug, so it's special. Could be both. You shrug and start climbing, which is always a good thing to do. Like you thought she would, she follows you, and like before, she complains about it the whole time. And like the structure itself, you both weather it fine. At the top, she looks around. Is this your hive? Not like a hideout. You still feel a little shy about it. It's not as fancy as your friend's hives, and you don't have any weird animal parent to make you snacks or anything. There's only little keepsakes you picked up along the way. They set up on the creaky old table next to some compliant old tech you couldn't get the power on. Couldn't get the power on. This must be an old watchtower. From where that was part of her imperial Tagina's preferred method of surveillance. She runs her hand on the dusty screen. Oh, Triza, you learned about her. And she knows Triza as well. Knows Triza. So that's an interesting note. She knows Triza and the other teal dude. No. Her bigger, better off-word counterpart in the reconnaissance. Oh, so she doesn't. She knows the counterpart of Triza, so. So that's definitely good to know. You look at the rusted bale of some terrifying weapon mounted in the corner, and then over at the landscape and the sprawling town. In the distance, smoke rises from a freshly demolished hive. Lingering in the moonlight, drones circle around it like buzzards. It's been like this here for a while then. You sit down, your legs dangling off the side of the platform. Tirza joins you, a safe distance away from the edge. I am not surprised. One hell of an understatement. Yeah, we've got a time-honored status quo in operations here. Seamline efficient, brutal. But Tirza looks miserable. That's not what you were going for. You summoned up the old Roy G. Biv in your head 1,000 times. She should be safe, right? Teals are middle class? And anyway, she's a lawyer. She's got the power that be on her side. Saying so doesn't seem to cheer her up at all. I mean, you're not wrong, but being in a position to benefit from the system doesn't make the system more morally palatable. And I'm being real about it. It's more me being forced to uphold it than anyone else. She nods toward the book at your hands. Oh right, how does this work anyways? Can she just not be a lawyer? Aren't there good ones? Yeah, I can quit if I want to get cold. There's always a choice. She sighs. It's not like I expected suffering to ever stop completely. It just seems like an awful lot of work to do to make sure it keeps happening. And that's the entire job of the legislator. Unless you're purple enough to get away with it, you're just guilty no matter what. It's just a matter of going through all the fanfare of a trial, for all of the same results. It's sick, but it's normal now that no one knows how to begin questioning it. She looks more exhausted now than she did during the paper explosion, like when you use all your sadness and all you have to do. Like when you use up all your sadness and all you have left is a deep, broken fatigue. This isn't entirely the rejuvenating getaway you envisioned. It's better than nothing at least, am I right? There's just so much injustice. You continue to try to be positive. Are there not political parties, some secret underground movements or anything? Sure, most lowbuds you met have a healthy, fantastical nonchalance about their situation, but there's gotta be something else out there. There were a few people who tried to stir shit up back in the day. It's all kind of hushed up and hard to find any information on the history of them though. It's definitely not the kind of thing they teach you in the legislator training. One was a mutant blood and the other had wings. Well, wings are definitely different. So I guess they didn't have much of a chance anyway. Can't imagine this story having a happy ending, but you still want to know more. There's the subtlest shift in her tone of voice now that she's doing more than only complaining. It draws you in. One of them seems to have gathered enough of following to become kind of a religious figure, from what little I can find about him. The other one let a military revolt. They were both killed along with their attempts at change. I don't know what happened to their perhaps to squint at you. definitely something. I don't know how you got me talking like this, but in the fuck it spirit of the night, I'm just going to keep going. If it wasn't clear, I'm telling you things that you can get me extremely cold. So like, please be chill. So you are chill. The chillest. And also probably pretty colorable yourself. Good point. She squints at you a little longer and then stares out into the night. Her jaw muscles clenches a few times before she speaks. I have some ideas. She's still not looking at you, but she sits up a little straighter. You feel your spine following suit almost on its own. All of us training to be legislators like to practice throwing our weight around. Some of us more than others, which I guess you have first-hand experience with, but we don't have much power, real power yet. We will though, if we pass our exams, which I will. I've been staying up most days studying every documented piece of the law and some underground stuff too when I find it, which not the healthy thing to do. You need to get your sleep to be able to do proper things and whatnot. So if you're thinking this is a good strategy, it is not, I assure you. There are exploitable loopholes they don't know about. If I can establish myself as a major player, I might have a chance to change things. Some things you can only take apart from the inside out. Right now she's built up a fevered energy, even with the sluggish way she talks, which is good. And when you shift in your seat, she kind of snaps out of it. Oh, sorry. Guess I got a little worked up. I don't exactly get to talk about this very often. It's good to be able to talk about the things that you like, since you normally don't get to talk about it. It's kind of overwhelming to think about how fucked up little thing is all of the time. But now that I see it clearly, I can't not do something. It's like Altaria is a giant fire and I'm pissing on a tiny corner of it, while the rest everything burns up around me. Your brain is buzzing with how real all that felt. You can't really add anything to it, so you just nod. It's a good thing sometimes just to agree quietly, since you don't know what else to do. Are things less abysmal where you're from? Oh boy. Ways, yeah. At home, the accused is called a defendant, at least, as in they get a defense. Eyes brighten. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Does your justice system work? You exhale slowly, trying to buy yourself time to encapsulate all of the planet's various cultures, societal structures, and similarly overwhelming lists of injustices in an intelligent blurb. You still on? Not always. Not for everyone. Your laugh is short and hollow. I mean, it's not that surprising though, so much for enlightened life forms existing somewhere in the universe. You guess until a more kind, just alien life form comes to take over, you'll just have to make do with each other, which is definitely something. Yeah, you're not so bad. Take on impressive regimen with you anytime. She gives you an arm, an awkward tap on her face, then looks back out over the ledge. Anyways, I'm no religious figure or military strategist. There's gotta be somewhere out there who is. Gotta use what skills I haven't said. Guess until I find them. What the fuck else would I do with my time? That is certainly true. Keep pissing on the fire is the best anyone can do, you reckon? Time and others hydrated enough to do the same. She laughs. Keep on pissing, huh? I'll drink to that. I have some water, so. She takes a big swig from her mug. After a beat, she silently and without looking at you extends her arm in your way. She stares at the mug's depth, a little unnerved. It doesn't look like Viscera, but you've been burned before. It won't kill you. You're not sure what it will do, but Viscera is truthful, if nothing else, so bottoms up. The fuck? It's water. Viscera grins and taps the temple with her claw. Gotta give the people something. Otherwise, they might think I'm the way I am on my own. Then what would we be? You don't know. Letting people in can be helpful, sometimes. Which, I mean, probably better than nothing. Shh. Fine. You're not convinced. I'm definitely not convinced either. Okay, I'll admit it. It's not a bad idea to relax every once in a while. Get your priorities straight. It's a decent time. Glad she's glad. But you're mostly just talk the whole time about the same stuff that she was overwhelmed by to begin with. Does that even count? You learned a lot, but she still looks pretty wiped. As soon as you think that, she yawns. She's so driven. You shiver a bit when you imagine what she could do if she took her time to rest for real. You pat the blankets next to you. It's no bed or tub of sober slime for that matter, but it's gotten you through enough. She looks warily and yawns again. I guess my Luskus and my mate sprite would just think I'm at my book hive anyway. One little nap won't hurt. I'll get up early tomorrow and reorganize our stupid busy work projects. She tentatively lowers herself. Aw, that's okay. She tentatively lowers herself down into the blankets. Her eyes close for a brief second before they snap open again, glaring at you with full force. Don't doubt me either. I got it under control. Okay, you have zero doubts in her abilities, you say. She curls back up against her cell, and a small rattle of contentment shakes in your throat. Out of the distance, the blaze has dimmed to a thin plume of smoke. You hope whoever's hive it was is okay. You're not sleepy, so you'll keep watch and make sure she gets up by sunrise. You tilt your head back and look up the unfamiliar constellations. Which is, I'm gonna assume it's pretty cool, but you only have your imagination. Your head feels full. It's intense and not exactly what you call happy, but you know you're feeling it with her, and that's far from nothing. Aww, that's adorable. I like that. Okay. I like that. So what happens if we... nope, I did the wrong one. Main menu to this one. Offer to organize it all somewhere with a less of a breeze risk. Hey, your night's pretty wide open, so you wouldn't mind moving this operation to a less windy location and getting it together for real. So, yeah, alright. She sits there kind of dazed, so you take over. It feels nice to be useful, even if you're not super confident about your skills. You at least know how to make a mean pile. After you make a handful of them, she moves to join in the effort. So you shush her back down. You're a helpful make-help person. You got it. You have got it. He works a non-committal noise and watches you work. You try not to feel bad when she winches at you a few resorting decisions. She doesn't stop you, at least. She scrunches up her face and yawns. So, which catches you off guard. Man, she really is wiped. You look away at her from her to the papers you're about to grab, but it's not there. Maybe it blew into another stack, or you picked it up already forgot? Yeah, it's probably right. Anyway, she has closed her eyes so she didn't notice. He'll be fine. Totally fine. I'm sure nothing's wrong at all. Once you have everything kind of together, you help her to your feet. You're pretty sure that was her hive, so she just walked out of, so you ask if you should go there. No, I've set it to the book hive. I can take you there. She seems to rally a bit now that it's her turn to lead the way. She picks up a hefty stack of her things and balances her mug on top of the wall and starts walking. Move it or lose it. It being the opportunity to engage in some really tedious micromanagements. There's no choice to be had, really. You move it. The book hive is an imposing building, and inside are a series of rooms operating off a central atrium. You walk past one set of double doors showing off a room full of weird statues and display cases, and another one bright with the light of a dozen display screens and humming with electricity. Further around the curve of the room, you pass a room full of brains in jars? It really looks like brains in jars. Well, let's hope it's not. There's another still, a windowless one, obtusely, don't know if I pronounced that right, secured with multiple padlocks and what looks like a retina scanner. There's a bunch of trolls in each room, and as you keep passing doors, you realize they're almost all teal bloods. Are they the nerd class? Wow, harsh. I mean, yeah, no, we kinda are. I know plenty of glow bloods who spent their nerd energy ruining the internet from their basements. And blue bloods usually have their own personal jerk-off book hives. And there's always outliers, I guess. But yeah, between us and the Jades, the book hive is Bleed Green. City. That's definitely interesting to know. Jozo keeps moving like this is nothing new. To her, you guessed it isn't. She pushes a creaky wooden door open to reveal a large study room full of bookshelves and furniture. There are even a few weird-looking ferns decorating the place. In here, there are a bunch of trolls, some reading, many of them on the computers. You dump the stuff you lugged here on one of the tables. The sound echoes in here. A handful of trolls look your way. Hope your presence won't be too conspicuous. You're probably fine. Unless anyone gets horny for acting grown and wants a bounty. But you're with me, so they probably won't mess with you. A little surprised by that. Tyzias, who has slumped down in a trance, though it leaves reorganized surprise, doesn't exactly give off a brawler aura. No, like, they know I'll talk them out of it. Or whine at them about leaving me alone until they do. Oh my god, I feel like that's something I would do. That makes you feel safe enough at least. So, time to do some old-fashioned organization. What is this big project anyways? Just some bullshit. She stops and cuts her eyes around the room, but no one is still paying attention. As far as you can see, she starts speaking again, quieter. I'm Simon with one of my legislators' trained schools. We're supposed to choose a prosecutable offense from the scrolls of a Fishkin and this all potential. She must be able to sense your eyes glazing over the idea of another long, perishable legal jargon ramble because she cuts herself off there. It's barely worth describing. At least it's interesting, probably. Grub school level, honestly, but it's extremely fucking tedious to research them and then annotate, especially when you can't find sources that haven't been scrubbed nice and fuchsia. Anyways, as long as you get in the right folders in the right order, we should be good for now. Sounds good enough for you. Plenty of time to... So, she said this was a group project, right? Where are your group members? Shouldn't they be contributing? Like I'd let them. Just kidding. I'm very good at allowing people to help me. You grit your teeth and nod to E. Nastfully, setting aside the papers labeled with letters that look like little microscope. Case in point. Anyways, they did their parts already. I want to make sure to add the finishing touches. Right then. You hear approaching footsteps. It had better not be some high blood you gotta take out. You mean, you gotta do it if you have to. It's tried and true. You're just not sure how well this dynamic duo will face in that case. I mean, I suppose that's fair. You stop scanning the room for potential bludgeoning materials when you see Tyzias' expression go from regular tired to tired and annoyed, but not in fear more apparel. You hear him speak right as you start to turn. Hey, it's Tagora. Yeah, that's the name. I was trying to remember his name because it's like his nosed Tagora. That's his name. There we go. How the mighty have fallen into a mud puddle, it seems. I suppose that's fair. At least my associate seems to be picking up after you fairly efficiently. Fuck off, Sorgor. We've had it together in time. You sure you don't require any assistance? I have to raise my rates for my original offer, but it still stands. You did your part already. Just spare me both your sales pitch and your company before you give me a second acid tube booster. Alright, you need to do that before the final edits of yours. Subtextual anti-establishment agendas don't insert themselves after all. Suit yourself. See you in class. They give each other an identical but inscrutable hand signal. If the huff of perturbation from a nearby jade is any indication, it's gotta be something vulgar. Perish. He smirks and raises his eyebrow at you as he turns to go. A man later, nod. You open your mouth as he knows you, but Tyzias sees it coming from a mile away. What? Never had a class friend? Someone who does good work but is miserable to hang out with? Yes, I've had to deal with those. I don't have time to waste more than one quadrant or lying to you, so don't allow a brain guess. I suppose that's fair. Just when you think you have to have all the troll dynamics down, you gotta make room for that cursed pest nuance. Anyways, you guess it makes sense. You and your troll friends have all kinds of weird vibes with each other too. Whatever works, which is always something better to deal with. Am I right? Exactly. You gotta go back to happily sorting. Tyzias rolls her shoulders and starts leaping through your piles. Where's mine? Have you seen my handwritten page? Should start double checking yourself. Your base doesn't so much escalate as it intensifies. Your body becomes almost graceful in efficiency. Got everything right? I thought I watched where it all went. I could have sworn I saw it land. You can help read your lost page. It shouldn't be too hard to recreate it. That doesn't help. She glares at you and starts forcefully whispering, so double-checking files without looking, like she knows them by touch. I don't understand. Those were my personal notes on an extremely sensitive topic I discovered while researching. I was only planning on using it to inform my stance. I'm not to turn it into the rest. It's not here. No, we've lost a page. She stops her futile search down the rest of whatever is in her mug and holds her head in her hands. Fucks. I might as well lay down right here until until moss grows on my dislocated body. That's pretty dramatic. Yeah, it is. You don't know what to blame her or anything, especially since it's probably some sort of your fault it's lost, but you still want to give her hope. Maybe next time she could use Google Docs. It won't blow away and has collaborative settings. Use them with... Red pops back up her future Slack. Can't use Google Docs for this. Are you listening? It's the whole point. You know who owns that, right? Every document is monitored. Analog is the only way to do anything unless you know how to get me onto the dark web, which is a fucking doubt. If someone found it, my handwriting is recognized, I'm dead. And I'll never be able to. She trails off, just sort of slumped in her seat. Oh, I feel so bad. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sure it is. She trails off, just sort of slumped in her seat, staring into the void. She really fucked up. No, I'm sure everything's fine. Relax. You admit to her that you may have allowed one page to blow away when you weren't paying attention, and that it could have possibly been that one. Wait, can't believe I was stupid enough to let someone else handle things. I'm sure it's fine. I was just so tired. Her shoulders start to shake a bit. Oh no. She doesn't cry, but you can almost wish she would. The way she just keeps blinking back tears and hiding her face with her arm is worse. It feels invasive to watch, and thankfully it doesn't last. I feel so bad. I'm sure it's fine. She sniffs once and clears her throat and wipes her face with her sleeve. Silently, she stacks all the things back in a pile. Okay, I need to retrace my steps. Maybe it hasn't been spotted yet. Maybe I'll be okay. I won't, but oh well. Need your help, desperate to fix the situation. But she gingerly picks your hand off one of her books and drops it in your lap. Your stomach seeks to join it. No, don't worry, I got it. She wrestles it all into a precarious heap in her arms. It wobbles once as she makes her way steadily to the door, but she catches it herself. Head high, she keeps walking. She doesn't look back. Aww. Well, on that sad note, we're going to end this here. I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your life, and may the stars forever guide your path, wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye.